go put a...
How's he dressed?
Okay, he's fine. This is my interview, Mom. Can you calm down?
No, you're fine.
It's fine. Okay. So I'm going to be...
Ask me questions?
Yeah, I'm going to be interviewing you about your experience during the Cold and Korean War.
Do you need any light on or no?
I think we should be fine.
Okay.
So, basically, how did you start to get into the army? Did you enlist or did you?
I was drafted.
You were drafted?
Yes.
How was that like being drafted?
Well, the war was on, and I felt it was our duty to go when you're called.
Okay. So, were you nervous when you got drafted? Were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared, but it was strange, you know, getting used to everything. You know, everything is regimented. You have to go in line, you know, even when you got your food,
Yeah. So there's
everything.
more conformity than at home?
Yes.
Yeah. So did you have any basic training?
Yes, I went to Aberdeen Proving Grounds, Maryland.
How was it? How was that?
Well, that's a weapons place, and they test all different kinds of ammunition and stuff like that. And I was in carburation and ignition, working on vehicles. That was my MOS, that's what they call it, your job.
Yeah, military occupation specialty.
Right. And I was in special services. And it was rough because we went in January.
Yeah.
And we didn't know where we were going to go, and they tried to toughen us up with the cold weather. Either Korea, I didn't know I was going to Alaska. They pulled us out of line to go to Alaska. We needed 6 replacements. But we were going to Korea. We were all set to go to Korea.
Yeah.
We had the Korean equipment, you know, the special boots. They used to call them Mickey Mouse boots. They're rubberized, insulated boot. That's what they gave us.
So, where were you stationed in Alaska?
Anchorage. And they called that, at the time, it was the 26th Ordnance Company. And then they changed it to Post Ordnance.
So, how long were you stationed there?
17 months and 20 days.
Wow. So, it was cold there?
Oh yeah, we hit 56 below.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, with the winds it got colder.
So, after you got drafted, basically, did you know what you were signing up for? Did you know what you were in for after that?
We didn't know what type of job we were going to get.
So it was basically just going
Yeah.
into the blue?
I mean, you know, they go right through the ranks. You need truck drivers, you need this, and that. One day they said, how many guys could drive? So a lot of guys were sticking their hand up. And I didn't stick my hand up, but a few guys, I said, don't put your hand up. And you know what kind of job they gave them?
What?
Driving a wheelbarrow.
Well, you were smart then.
Well, I learned not to volunteer when you're in the Army.
Oh, man. So, basically, before you were drafted, what was your opinion about the war? How did you feel about it?
Well, nobody likes war, but my uncles were all in the service in the Second World War, so I felt it was my duty to go just like they did. And they went longer than us.
Yeah.
They used to go 3, 4 years, some of them 5.
Did your views change at all after you got drafted, or once you were in there?
Yeah, it was, you know, it was all, that was a political thing. It wasn't a war when I went in. They called it the Korean conflict. And when we went overseas to Alaska, we didn't even get overseas pay. Then they started, when they said, oh, all right, it's a full war now, then they started paying us overseas pay. You know, it was probably $10, $12 more a month. It wasn't much.
So, I'm guessing that if you're faced with the same decision, with going to war and helping out, you do the same thing?
Yeah, I would.
While you were over there, were you ever asked to do anything that was immoral?
No, not really.
Were there any trainings or any things that would be considered controversial?
No, we just trained hard, demolition, you know. Some of the training, it was scary. Some guys couldn't do it.
What were some of the scary things that you had to do for training?
Well, one time we had to dig a 2x2 hole and get in it, and they drove a tank right over your hole.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's
A lot of guys just couldn't do it. They ran away.
yeah.
So those guys, they shipped to a different area to do different jobs.
So what did you think about the enemy? Were they hated throughout your company? Like
Yeah,
Vietnam
we
War?
used to call them gooks and stuff like that. But we were lucky. We never had to go into combat. Ours was a Cold War that up in Alaska that we fought with the Russians. You know, we used to go up to Nome. We were only 6 miles away from Russia
Yeah.
up there. They used to steal a vehicle, and we used to steal a vehicle from them at night. But that's the closest. We never got into combat with them.
Yeah. So
We were prepared. They said we couldn't even defend Alaska when we were up there.
it
They
must have
said
been
we wouldn't last that long because we didn't have enough troops.
that must have been a scary thought considering we were stationed there. What would have happened if there was an attack?
We had everything mined, all the bridges, everything ready to blow. You know, this way make it harder for them to use the road. The road was terrible, the Alpine Highway. It was frozen, it had tundra. You used to get frost thieves. 5 foot frost used to come up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad in the wintertime.
So your company or your group, was there a strong sense of camaraderie between you guys when you were?
Yes, everybody, we're brothers. Everybody watched out for each other. We always used the buddy system up there
Yeah.
because you couldn't travel alone because of kind of the weather. You
Yeah.
got stuck, you were in trouble.
So, how paranoid were you guys from the invisible threat? So basically, the enemy coming over. You guys on edge or?
No, we weren't on this. We were really relaxed. We had a lot of equipment. We had big guns up there. We had the modern. They had a new weapon. They used to call it. It was an anti-aircraft gun, but it was a radar gun. That was something new. It just come out, and we used to go and test fire that thing. We worked with demolition all the time. C4, you know. That was the big thing. How to handle this stuff, not to be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Some guys can't do it.
Yeah. They say
Just too nervous.
that's the main thing. If you're afraid of a tool, you're more likely to get hurt with
You're gonna
it.
get hurt, or you're gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Now I know a guy that came, like we were training. They make you crawl through mud and stuff for 100 yards under barbed wire, and they have these landmines going off. You know, they were percussion. They weren't really that great a threat to us, but it made a lot of noise, a lot of mud, and you had to crawl around. And they were shooting machine gun over your head. But don't stand up, because you're gonna get hit. You know, and stuff like that was tough,
Yeah.
nerve-wracking. But we did it.
So, what would you say is the worst problem that you had to deal with when you're up there?
In the services, hurry up and wait. You know, get in line for this, get in line for that, run, hurry up, you're gonna be late. You get there and you're waiting and waiting. The delays were terrible.
Yeah.
Every time. I mean, going for clothing, going to eat, you know, it's the way it was.
Yeah. Did you have an experience where you were in danger, came close to death? Like, did you get sick or you had frostbite or something?
One time we could have been driving the Alcan. I was coming down a mountain. I was towing two tanks, 50 tons apiece on the trailer. and I had another trailer behind I was towing. It was the the kitchen trailer, you know, with all the equipment on it. And all of a sudden our wipers stopped. It was snowing, and we're going down the Sheep Mountain, big mountain. A lot of people got killed on this mountain going down, because you can't hold a vehicle on there once you get too much momentum. And my assistant driver dove out. You know, we had windshields that could push out on the trucks. They had a latch, just like a cellar window, you know, you unlatch it,
Yeah.
push it out. He dove out there and he's wiping the windshield, so I could see and slow down the vehicle until we could fix that wiper.
Oh my gosh.
That was hairy, because we had all this weight behind us pushing. You know, you can't go too fast, and you gotta watch the road. Can't see too far without a wiper. That was hairy.
So, do you have any funny or interesting stories, other experiences that you had?
Well, we used to fool around, throwing grenades and stuff. A lot of times they had simulating grenades to train with. And the guy went to the John, outdoor John, and the guy said, let's scare him. He said, get a simulating grenade. And the guy got a real grenade and blew the thing over.
Oh my
Almost
God.
killed him, fooling around.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, that could happen.
So, looking back on your military service, do you consider it to have a positive impact on your life?
Yes, I do. I think it gave you a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it made me think positive all the time,
Yeah.
you know? That's one thing I could, it taught us a lot. Taught us survival. You know, extreme weather, how to live in it. If you were trapped, dig into the snow and get below the wind, because the wind would cut you down. We had winds up there, 80, 90 miles an hour all the time. They used to blow vehicles over. We had to lash the Jeeps and the trucks. We had to tie them down. And we used to get storms like that up near Fairbanks.
Wow.
Big Delta we used to go. That was rough. They had the buildings all connected together when we were on this maneuver. We were testing one of the big airplanes, the Globetrotters, you know, those big engines. They were loading that up, and they had headwinds, couldn't get off the ground. We had to unload half of the load in the airplane so the plane could take off.
Oh
Yeah, that was hairy. Those guys had guts flying that thing.
yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Monroe movie, blowing up the whole place. How was daily life for you guys? Was it monotonous or?
No, we had a daily routine. We used to, you know, get up early. We got up, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning. That was our 4:30. We had reveille, and we used to go eat. Then they'd inspect you, have an inspection outside, and then you go to your jobs. And I was a leader. I had a crew, 5 guys with me. And we used to get on our truck and go to our shop. And we used to work inside in the shop, repairing vehicles, tanks, trucks. We did a lot of electronic work.
Yeah.
You know, it's all keyboard stuff we used to do. That was just coming out.